Hey everyone, as always, before we get started, if you want to check out the entire playlist for this series, click the icon on the top right corner of your screen or the link in the description. Here's the only track I couldn't play this month. Piracy warning, as there just wasn't enough significant upgrades to justify its inclusion again. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Alright, we start off with a track, which is familiar to me, and familiar to probably a lot of you. Wii Luigi Circuit, made by a guy called Simaenaga, who appeared quite a lot in the previous month's video. He appears quite a lot in this video as well, not as much, but he still appears quite a lot. And yeah, this is a pretty... I don't know if this is a straight port over. It feels like a straight port, because, like, you know, the grass is really similar. Like, everything just looks so similar to how it does in Wii. Even down to the... you can notice it if you go into noclip.com. You can see the blank... well, where the Luigi face would be, or where a me face would be, that's all blank. So, I don't know if it's a straight port or not, but regardless, it's still pretty cool to have Wii Luigi Circuit in Mario Kart Deluxe. It looks really pretty in 8 Deluxe as well, like super pretty. Obviously, it would be great if there were crowd noises. I don't know if that's explicitly possible. There is also the ramp here. Nice. And obviously the pipe shortcut. I don't have any mushrooms at the moment, but I have tried taking it in time trials. It's actually a lot harder to take. At least I found it a lot harder to take in 8 Deluxe than it is in Wii. But it's probably because the controls are a bit different, and yeah, I'm just not used to taking a shortcut on outside driving bikes, or carts for that matter. But yeah, overall, pretty good start. Again, not really much I can say. It's Wii Luigi Circuit, not really much else to report. And yeah, it's a pretty good start, bro. I like it. Okay, so this is Daisy Cruiser, not the official version in the DLC, but just the custom track version. I have already played this before in a video I did previously on getting Wave 5 early, quote-unquote. So if you want to have a more in-depth look at the track, I will leave the link in the icon in the top right corner of your screen. But what I really like about this one, I don't know if I mentioned in that previous video, is that in the preview of the track, you can see GCN Yoshi Circuit, which is a really cool throwback to Double Dash, which you can kind of see it over there. Look, you can see Yoshi Circuit all the way over there. It's a really cool touch from Double Dash, because in Double Dash, a lot of the maps are connected to each other. Like in the original, this was connected to Peach Beach. You could see Daisy Cruiser from the beach, and I think vice versa as well. You could see Peach Beach and Daisy Cruiser. All the Mushroom City tracks are connected in some way, and even like Rainbow Road is above GCN Mushroom City. So all the tracks are connected, and I really like that that narrative being continued in the custom track version. As I said, I already really like this track, but again, if you want a more comprehensive and in-depth look at the track, then again, I've already done a video on this one. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy this one. And again, I love the throwback to Double Dash. Always a good time to see that. And here's another Wii track that you may or may not recognize. This one, I believe, is a completely different Dry Dry Ruins to the ones we've seen before. This one is, for sure, more heavily inspired by Wii. The water, as you can see coming up here, is definitely a lot clearer. Maybe a little bit shiny, but it's still, like, not as bad as some other tracks I've seen before, where, like, the glare is just unbelievable. The pillars falling down is a nice touch. I did only hit the pillar on the way down, though. They might send you a bit too high for my liking, but it's not too big of a deal. Let me just try taking the... Yeah, you can't really take the wall ride in this version, which is a shame. Although it's going to be very hard to do in general. What I liked about the other Dry Dry Ruins is that they had some kind of anti-gravity effect. They kind of made it more 8 Deluxe-esque, where it basically feels like, again, more of a port from something like noclip.com. Where it's just the track and not much else. I would kind of like it if there's, if you're going to put a retro in with some, like, you know, some potential for anti-gravity, would be cool to have that in, but as I said, it's not a huge deal. The track does still look good and impressive regardless. And yeah, it is overall quite fun to play. I just wish that the pillars could be a little bit smaller and also maybe not send you as high as they do. I'm going to try taking it you can't even really take it the Wii way, because I know the way you're meant to do it in Wii is you go from one side to the other. That's kind of how you're meant to do it, even though that's absolutely not the fastest way to go about that little ruin section. But yeah, overall, I do really like the track. Still feels like Dry Dry Ruins from Wii, and at the end of the day, that's all you really asked for, so good job. Okay, a tour track, remix Choco Island 1. Haven't ever actually played this track in Tour, so again, kind of a new experience for me. Looks really pretty though. I mean, obviously I have played Choco Island before in SNES, Super Mario Kart, and also in Mario Kart DS, but I'm not explicitly sure if it's the same one. Probably not. But yeah, it's a very, very cool looking track, and I like the ramps. It's very Sunset Wilds-esque with the random ramps and like hills kind of in place. The pipes there are interesting, because I feel like you could easily get stuck there, which could be a slight problem. Now I've got mushrooms as well, I can maybe take a couple of shortcuts, although it's Choco Island 2. I don't really know if there are really many shortcuts I can take without also getting horrendously destroyed. I don't really think there are any shortcuts, apart from a few corner cuts around. That's fine. I'm not expecting there to be, like, loads of shortcuts, because, again, this is a SNES Choco Island track, and it's in Tour, so I'm not expecting, like, straight ports of Tour tracks to have many shortcuts in them, but, hey, it is what it is. I would like, I mean, I do like the little pipes and like, the little hills. It adds a lot of elevation that I think some retro tracks lack. But yeah, overall, again, very simple, very just kind of, you know, fun to drive. And yeah, not really much else to report. It is a SNES track, so again, not really much I can really add to it. Other than it's a very cool track, it looks very pretty, and it's very well made. So again, well done. GP Rainbow Downhill. Oh my god. This just looks so impressive, so pretty. It's mesmerizing how good this looks. Obviously, I've played this in I've played a version of this in Wii with Mayro for Custom Track Showcase, but this is just something else entirely. Luckily, Mario Kart Deluxe allows you to have better graphics, and oh my god, the creators absolutely nailed it with this one. It just looks so pretty. Obviously, Rainbow Downhill is a track that some people might not explicitly be familiar with because it is the arcade version, but this track is honestly stunning. I like what they did with the underwater theme. It's not underwater in the original version. I believe it's still kind of like, you know, still kind of spacey, still kind of like dreamlike. In the Wii version, there's a cannon that brings you all the way back up to the surface, which feels a little bit stilted. They don't really have much of a choice though, because again, it is, you know, Wii doesn't really have that functionality that GP has, where you can have, you know, maybe a glider, or you can teleport back, and yeah, it just doesn't really work in Wii. Whereas this, you can't really do the system of you go back to the beginning, but having this be a one-lapper is an absolutely genius way of getting around the problem of, well, how do you get back to the start? Easy, you don't. You just make it a one-lapper and have it just be a mesmerizing experience from start to finish. Like, this just looks insane. Definitely one of the prettiest custom tracks I have ever seen in my life. Like, this is just so unbelievably impressive. I really want more GP tracks to be added to 8 Deluxe, because, like, GP tracks I feel like are the forgotten tracks in the Mario Kart franchise, because obviously, you know, they're arcade machines. They're not as readily available as, say, a 3DS, or a Nintendo Switch, or a Wii. So, again, there are loads of tracks that people are just missing out on. Like, you know, there's Diamond City, one of my favorites. Kingdom's Way, I think, is another one from one of the sequels. There are so many great ones. I know there's a Waluigi Stadium in there, which is pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully more of these tracks can get into 8 Deluxe. And yeah, man, this is super impressive. It's going to be very hard for the rest of the tracks in this video to top this, but we'll see what happens. Okay, another SniperShell track. It looks very pretty. I've mentioned it before, but what I really like about SniperShell's tracks is that he keeps improving every time we play a new track of his. Like, I remember when we first played the track, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the one where the shortcut was just completely obscured by bushes. And he's come along, like, a long way since then. Also, if you've noticed the music, I can actually say this reminds me of Genshin Impact, and actually have it be from Genshin Impact. I played too much of that game where I just know where the music is from. Unfortunately, the first place drum beat doesn't quite work with it, but I mean, oh well, it doesn't really matter. It's meant to be quite chill. In time trials, it's especially chill. There is a glider out there, which is a little bit hard to get to if you trip off the logs, but this track just looks so pretty. SniperShell, I've mentioned before, a master of the very short and enjoyable tracks. This is very fun to drive, very relaxing. Love me some dancing Shy Guys on top of the side, that's always class. Maybe they're dancing the drum beat and not the actual very relaxing Chinese leeway music from Genshin. But yeah, unfortunately there's not really much else I can say, apart from the track looks very, very pretty. It drives nicely for the most part, and yeah, it just looks super pretty. I like the NPCs in a track as well, gives the track a bit more life. But yeah, overall, very, very good effort from SniperShell, and I can't wait to see how he keeps improving from here, because, again, he's done a hell of a lot better since the first time we showed him off on this channel, so, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what he comes up with next. I'm excited to see it. Okay, here is the first of two Mario 64 inspired tracks. The first one would be the Princess's Secret Slide. That's a bit of a mouthful when you can't really talk that well today. But yeah, it's a cool track, this. Obviously very heavily inspired from the course of the same name in Super Mario 64. What I find interesting about this one is that it's not a one-lapper. You go down the slide, and then you go back up the slide. There's also no air time on some of these jumps. It is all sticky road, which, I mean, I guess is fairly faithful to the original. But yeah, there's no backboard. There's just a straight wall back, and they've added a little section at the end here, which is actually, no, it's kind of interesting. Oh god, that's a bit of a sharp drop. Maybe could have used a trick there. The DK cannon as well, interesting touch, and you go all the way back up to the top. This more reminds me, I feel like, I mean, I don't explicitly know there's explicit inspiration, but I feel like this reminds me a bit of the pachinko machine from Super Mario Sunshine, in the sense of you go down to the, you go down to the bottom, and then have a little slide which takes you all the way back to the beginning of the machine. In a way, this kind of reminds me of that, except instead of going down a pachinko machine, you're going down the secret slide. And yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I think the next track, which is coming up in a couple of races, does it better than this, and I'll explain why later. But this doesn't take away what this track does, because the track itself is actually quite fun. It's quite relaxing. It's not like super hectic or anything. It's mostly chill. So yeah, overall pretty good. But I would say that a couple of changes probably would need to be made in order for this to be a bit better. But overall, I think it's a pretty fun track. I like it. Alright, this is Ilay Circuit Revisited, version 2. Still has the misshaped beaker look, as shown not too long ago, actually. This is a fairly recent entry into this series. But I gave it a go, and I felt like enough of the track was changed where it's worth giving it another look. First off, they've added a pipe section here, which is a pretty cool addition. Definitely a change I wasn't expecting when I first went through this track, it's a really, really nice touch. Off the top here, not really much else has changed from memory. The pipe is like the especially big change. I like I can't remember if the Mii statue was there before. That's always a nice touch there. And yeah, other than that, most of the track remains the same. It's a very, very, again, relaxing track. I feel like relaxing tracks are the theme of the day here. Like, very simple, relaxing tracks that are just a breeze to get through. And this, again, the pipe is definitely the big change here. Love that addition. I really like it when creators go back and think, you know what, I can do better than this. Let's add this idea. Let's experiment around a little bit more. And they come up with stuff like this. Like, this is so cool. Going through the pipe, it's one, small difference, but it adds, I think, so much to the track. It makes it feel, I don't know, more alive, I suppose, than what it was before. It's not like just a simple racetrack anymore. There's, it's got a little bit of character to it now, which I really like. So, yeah, I mean, not much else has been changed. It's still the same simple Ilay circuit, aka the misshaped beaker, as I like to call it, as it was before. But again, that little bit of extra character makes so much difference. So, really well done to IlayasTer, I believe is his name. And yeah, fantastic job. Again, if you do update it even more, I might have to give this one another look. But for now, can't wait to see what he does next. And here is the aforementioned second Super Mario 64 inspired track. Still the slides, but with a slight difference. Instead of just the Princess's Secret Slide, it is all three of them in one track, and it's all a one-lapper. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. It has a little bit more of an original feel to it. Like, instead of, having it take place in space, oh dear, I just fell off, that's a great start by me. But yeah, instead of taking the track in space, kind of like, what Waluigi Pinball would be like, it takes place in it takes place inside almost like the painting kind of vibe, which I really like about this first section. And yeah, obviously it's not just this, it's quite short. But what I really like, the detail of this track is really cool. You go through the painting to get to the next section. Also, I like the London bus just casually hanging out at the end of the secret slide. I guess Peach visited London and really enjoyed her stay, so I guess that's why the bus is there. maybe there's like a little bit of extra lore that this track has that, you know, or maybe Mario 64 just has a secret London bus in it that, you know, that people just never found. I mean, we found the Ellis here, it's true. So, you know, or the L20, whatever it was. The Luigi being in Mario 64. Like, that was a thing. So maybe people could find out whether a London bus is in the game, like hidden in the code somewhere. But anyway, this is the second section in Cool Mountain, I believe. And yeah, it's very, very fun, this. It's just a breeze to go down. I mean, this is also off-road, and I like how you don't necessarily drive on that. Through the final pane now, and this section, I'm going to try and demonstrate this to you. This glider lasts for a long time if you just hold the back button. I'm going to keep going until I land. There. That's a long way down, and it somewhat works if you brake drift. On 200cc, I imagine it's nowhere near that good. But I mean, hey-ho, it is what it is. Obviously, there are two ramps, or two different paths here. I want to take the regular route around the side. Obviously, you can go and explore the glider route, which gives you, again, another crazy glider. But I'm just going to go down here and chill for the time being. Again, very simple, not really too much going on. I do like the addition of the pokies in the middle of the track. Gives it a little bit more, you know, that makes it a little bit more challenging as opposed to just you drive down and that's about it. You know, not saying there's a problem with that, but I feel like, you know, compared to something like GP Run with Downhill, that's super detailed, having something which can, you know, direct your attention to it as opposed to, you know, everything here looks kind of plain. That's not necessarily a criticism of the track itself, it's just, that's how the secret slides are. They do look naturally plain. I do like the various, like, little rings and the ramps to kind of make it a little more interesting. But yeah, I like what they did with this. I like the one lapper effect, and yeah, it's a really fun track overall. I really, really enjoyed this one. Definitely a lot of fun to play. Okay, another Mario Kart Tour remake of a retro track. I love the background. Can I just say that first off? That background is absolutely sublime. This is remixed Ghost Valley 1, I believe, which I have played this in Tour a few times, actually. I think the one of the few recent tours I played had this this track in it, and I played this one quite a lot. There were a few missions and stuff, and this was chosen a fair amount just for some reason. But yeah, definitely an interesting track. I like again, I think the tour style really works for some tracks of this. It definitely modernizes the SNES tracks up a little bit as opposed to having it be kind of, you know, a bit dull. Kind of sad that there's no ending shortcut here, but I don't know how it would have really worked in the tour style. It is a remix, I suppose, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the same, but still, I do kind of miss the old shortcut at the end. You get there, I believe, the original by using a feather, and in there are a couple of Mario Kart Wii custom tracks where you can just kind of jump over it, and that was that. But yeah, definitely, again, very simple, definitely very pretty. That background does look really cool, and yeah, there's not really much else I can say here. It's just a very, very good recreation of remix Ghost Valley 1, and there's already much more I can say on that. We have GBA Lakeside Park, made once again by Fevirre, who has appeared quite a lot on this little series of mine, and yeah, I kind of have some complaints about this track, considering that it's not really Lakeside Park, but I can kind of ignore that for the time being, and just go, yeah, this is a very, very fun track. Again, pretty simple. It is the Mario Kart Tourified version of Lakeside Park. I do like the volcano in the background. That's always a nice touch from the original too. It feels fresh and it feels vibrant, this track. Even though there's not really many NPCs around, I kind of wish there were, just to make it again feel a little bit more alive. It still feels quite vibrant and tropical, which I really like about this track. Again, I kind of wish that this feels more like Riverside Park than Lakeside Park. Riverside Park, again, is a lot shorter than Lakeside Park. Lakeside Park, I believe, is in, what, like the Special Cup on Super Circuit from memory? Is it a Special or Lightning Cup? I can't quite remember. But yeah, it's overall actually quite a lot of fun. Like, again, very peaceful to drive around, not really many obstacles. You just kind of go, you just kind of drive. You can't do a gap cut there. I did test that in time trials. It does count you out of bounds, which is honestly fair enough. And yeah, overall, again, not really much else I can say. It's very chill. I kind of wish some of the colors were a bit bright, like the rocks look a bit muddy on the walls. Maybe like having some lights on there would make it look a little bit better. But other than that, it is a pretty good recreation of Tour Lakeside Park. I can't really say much more than that. It's a fun track, and it's tropical, it's fun, it's light, it's breezy, and yeah, it's a good track overall. It's fun. Okay, this track has a special place in my heart. This is Dot's version of SNES Battles Castle 3, recreated in Mario Kart Deluxe by my friend Mayro. Go make sure you subscribe to her, she is fantastic. And yeah, I absolutely adore this track. I think it's one of my favourite SNES BC3s that's been made. I don't know if it's explicitly my overall favourite. I think Sci-Hi's version in Mario Kart Wii is very cool as well. But this version just absolutely rocks. I really love this version. And Dot did an absolutely fantastic job recreating SNES BC3 in their own image. It just looks so much, it's so much fun. So much fun, in fact, that I did put this in my Formula Kart Wii track pack. If anybody remembers those trailers from, I think last year is when I did that track pack. So if you're interested in checking out Formula Kart Wii and what that's about, again, like, make sure to check out previous videos on my channel to find that. And yeah, this track overall is absolutely fantastic. I love the ramps on the side. So like, you go on the sides, and they do actually serve some purpose, as opposed to, you know, oh, you go on the side and not really much happens. Like, no, there is actually a purpose to going on the sides here. Obviously, like, these little platforms, the race platforms there are really, really cool as well. Definitely the main unique selling point of the track. And having, you know, having the castle kind of outside, having it take place outside is really cool. It reminds me almost of the Bowser, I think Bowser Highlands in Mario Golf Super Rush. It reminds me of that in a way, just with the kind of, the vibe of the track, the colours, and just kind of, you know, how the track feels. It feels very Mario Golf Super Rush to me. Definitely not the first thing that would come to mind for most people, but, you know, here I am. Again, I love the little drive runs on the side. Again, just adding NPCs that kind of move around and are interactive, it just makes the track feel more alive. And again, it's what I mentioned in Ilay Circuit version 2. It adds character to the track. I really, really like that. So, you know, this track's absolutely class. Well done to Dot and well done to Mayro for recreating this track. And yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I really, really love this one. And yet again, another Mario Kart Wii track that you guys may or may not recognise. It is once again a track by Luca, and this is NC4 Mario Raceway. So colourful. I love how colourful this track is. Like, the original wasn't that much colourful. I don't think the Wii version is this colourful either. Like, again, it feels like a track from Tour. This feels like a very tourified Mario Raceway. And I'm not actually sure if Raceway is even in Tour. But I feel like if it was, this is what it would look like. It just looks so much fun. Obviously, if I had mushrooms, I would probably, you know, I'd have a field day with taking some of these shortcuts. You can trick off the sides as well. That's always pretty fun. It just looks so much fun. I love the way this track looks. The Mario hat on top just looks so vibrant and so colourful. All the advertisements as well. Love to see it. And yeah, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm waiting to see where the little Mario Kart 8 like little broadcasting van is on the track. Because like, that's always a little fun Easter egg to find. Like, where are some of these vans? But I don't think there are any on this track. But like, that would be a cool touch. Just have some of them. Make it feel like, you know, a professional raceway, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I think this track is absolutely phenomenal. Again, it's Mario Raceway, can't say too much about it. It's not, like, super interesting to talk about, but again, what Luca did with this track is absolutely phenomenal. I love how colourful and vibrant it looks. It feels alive, and yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Well done, Luca. This is absolutely superb. Here comes Squadaloo, with a track that just... he knows the way to my heart. It's DKL Jungle Falls. I love this track. From playing it in Diddy Kong Racing DS, and also playing this track as a custom track in Mario Kart HTTP back in the day. This is so cool. I love the anti-gravity on this track as well. You can go up the sides, which like was lacking a little bit in some of the other versions of this track I've seen. But yeah, this is just absolutely superb. I love the look of this. It's DK Jungle, but if it was, you know, or Diddy Kong Racing, but if it was made in, you know, a Mario Kart 8 style. I love that. I love the way this track works. He didn't try to make it like the original. He's just kind of like, okay, this is what it would be like. DK Jungle, but if it was more akin to the original, you know, Diddy Kong Racing kind of style, or one of those original tracks. It's really, really cool. Going up the sides is always fun. The dinosaur skeleton's really cool as well. Again, Squadaloo just makes so many good tracks, and again, having the original music here definitely helps. I adore this track. It's so much fun. And yeah, I can honestly have to play this track a few times to just get, like, everything down that this track includes. The waterfall's really pretty, like, the temple here looks really great. Everything about this track is just superb. I really, really like it. Squadaloo, once again, coming out with an absolute banger. And, yeah, again, can't wait to see what more tracks Squadaloo does. If it's more retros or it's originals. Regardless, Squadaloo just makes fantastic tracks. I can't wait to see more from him. And we end the video with something completely mad. This is a track by Stiven. It's been a while since we've seen him. And the track here is called Pianta Garbage. Which, I mean, with the whole, like, polygonal trash bags around, I mean, it fits the theme. This is just, it's absolutely absurd. Like, I never know what to think when I play a Stiven track. I never know what to think, because it's just so insane all the time. And it's definitely something else, alright, this track. I mean, it drives better than the previous ones. I can at least, like, most of the time tell where I'm going, apart from that one glider ramp where you have to just go, you have to turn so far to the left in order to actually make that turn. We go through Mike Wazowski's legs, there's Ed and Eddie stuff here, there's an overturned Thomas the Tank Engine for some reason. I generally don't know what goes through this guy's head when he's making a custom track. I don't know if I want to know, but it's its own unique style, and you know, you've got to appreciate that. It's something else. It's something different, is what I can really say. It's a lot different to some of the other tracks I've played. Whether that's good or not is up to you for you guys to decide. But I mean, man, oh man, this is just absolutely unreal. I do like the little touch of the pianos coming out of the pipes. That's actually quite a funny visual gag there. But yeah, finishing off with something crazy. But yeah, it's definitely, again, the most drivable track that Stiven has made, so that has to count for something. And my favourite track made last month is GP Rainbow Downhill. How could it be anything other than this? There were plenty of fantastic tracks released in July, but this one just simply takes the cake. Its visuals are simply stunning, some of the best I've seen in a custom track in fact. And even though the track might not feature any shortcuts or anything too complicated, it's still a fun experience all around, and the track drives very smoothly aside from a couple of tough turns. I also like the idea of making the track a one-lapper as opposed to making people drive the entire track twice. So for all the reasons listed prior, GP Rainbow Downhill is my favourite track made in July. What was your favourite track this video? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace.